There's been a fresh buzz around the NBA trade rumors, and this time, all eyes are on Drew Holiday and the possibility of him moving to the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks have come up in conversations before when discussing potential trade destinations for Holiday, and it makes a lot of sense given their current roster construction and championship aspirations. Dallas is a team that is clearly built to compete at a high level, and adding a seasoned veteran like Holiday could be exactly the kind of move that pushes them deeper into playoff contention. They already have Kyrie Irving as a cornerstone, although there's uncertainty about when Kyrie might be back or how long he'll stay. So having another reliable ball handler and defensive presence is crucial for their championship hopes. Cooper Flagg. Their promising rookie is expected to develop over time, but the Mavericks still need a proven leader who can manage the tempo and bring playoff experience. Drew Holiday's 2 NBA championship rings and his reputation as a tough, gritty defender make him a perfect fit for what Dallas is trying to build. Alongside stars like Anthony Davis, who's also looking for another ring, and the sharpshooting Klay Thompson, the Mavericks have assembled a roster hungry to win now. Holiday's ability to control the pace, create for others, and lock down opponents defensively aligns well with Dallas's goals, making the trade chatter completely justified. That said, this is not a simple situation by any means. Holiday's contract still has 3 years left with a total value north of $100 million. This kind of financial commitment creates a hurdle for any team interested in acquiring him. It's likely that Dallas will at least explore, if a trade is possible, but it won't be easy to work out. The salary cap implications mean that Boston and Dallas might need to involve a third team to facilitate the deal, especially if the goal is to shed salary and keep the deal compliant with league rules. Boston, on their end, has to figure out how to reduce their payroll, as they are currently paying more in luxury tax than on the actual player salaries, which is unsustainable with new ownership taking over. Among Boston's big contracts, Drew Holiday stands out as the most logical candidate to be moved. Derrick White, despite being a valuable player, earns significantly less and continues to improve every season, making him less likely to be traded. The young core players in Boston also don't make much sense to move, especially with the team's long-term plans. Holiday's contract and veteran status make him the prime target to create cap space and balance the roster. Looking deeper at Boston's roster, it's clear they have plenty of guard depth, but their front court is thinner, which adds another layer to the trade discussions. Peyton Pritchard made significant strides last season, stepping up as a reliable sixth man and showing he could potentially start next season. When comparing Pritchard and Holiday side by side, it's striking how much more Holiday is paid despite similar offensive contributions. Pritchard's offensive efficiency and cost effectiveness make him a very appealing option for Boston's backcourt moving forward. He won't command more than $10 million a year on his current deal, while Holiday's player option of $37 million at age 37 is a luxury Boston likely can't afford anymore. For Boston, trading Holiday is almost a necessity, rather than a choice. However, unloading his salary won't be straightforward. Boston is more than $20 million over the so-called second tax apron, which limits the number of teams they can negotiate with, because many teams also operate near or above their own tax thresholds. That's why it's expected that a third team will be needed to absorb some salary and help facilitate the trade, allowing Boston to get closer to a manageable payroll number. If Boston sends Holiday to Dallas, they're unlikely to shed a significant chunk of salary in a direct swap, because Dallas is already close to their own salary cap limits. The deal would probably involve draft picks or additional players to balance the financials, and it might come with some complex trade mechanics. Boston's lack of flexibility in terms of how many players they can include in a deal also complicates matters, as teams over the second apron aren't allowed to send multiple players away in one trade. This naturally narrows down the list of possible trade partners. From Dallas's perspective, they do have several movable assets on mid-level or below contracts, which could be attractive for Boston. Players on expiring deals or those with manageable salaries could be brought in to help with Boston's luxury tax situation, or to be flipped in subsequent trades to create even more salary relief. Among the Mavericks roster, some names stand out as potential pieces in a Holiday trade. Daniel Gafford, for example, is on a 1-year, $14 million contract that expires after the next season, making him a highly valuable asset for Boston. He's a solid big man, a good rebounder, shot blocker, and rim protector who fits Boston's timeline perfectly at just 26 years old. Others like PJ Washington, Caleb Martin, and Brandon Williams offer a mix of scoring, defensive, versatility, and youth that Boston could utilize. PJ Washington is known for his ability to fill the scoring gap and bring a reliable offensive presence. While he may not be the best defender overall, his length and skill set allow him to contribute effectively on the wing. Caleb Martin, on the other hand, has a reputation for stepping up in big moments, often playing well against Boston in previous matchups, which could be an intriguing factor for Celtics fans hoping to see him in green. Brandon Williams has shown flashes of promise, especially in the NBA's play-in tournament, where he put up impressive numbers and demonstrated efficiency on offense. The big wild card in any trade discussion is Klay Thompson. While the chances of acquiring him might seem slim given his established career and ties to the West Coast, he could be a valuable addition to Boston's system if a deal somehow materializes. His ability to space the floor, knock down threes at a high volume, and play solid defense fits well within Boston's style of play. Thompson's salary aligns roughly with Holiday's, making him a feasible trade piece from a financial standpoint, though his preference for location and team culture might make this scenario less likely. Ultimately, the possible trades involving Jrue Holiday and the Mavericks range from more ambitious packages, including draft picks and multiple players, to simpler deals focusing on salary matching and acquiring promising young talent. Boston's front office faces a challenging offseason ahead, balancing the need to shed salary, maintain competitive depth, and manage roster construction under a strict luxury tax environment. Holiday's value lies not just in his skill set, but in the salary relief his departure could provide, though achieving that without significantly weakening the team will require creativity and patience. As the offseason progresses, the pressure mounts for Boston to make a decisive move regarding Jrue Holiday. The Celtics management understands that retaining Holiday without easing the luxury tax burden is simply not sustainable. The ownership transition adds urgency, as new owners are unlikely to tolerate the excessive tax bills that have plagued the franchise in recent years. Holiday's veteran presence and championship pedigree make him a coveted asset, but Boston must balance that value against the financial realities of the league's hard salary cap and luxury tax system. This balancing act is the central challenge for Boston's front office. One of the complexities Boston faces is timing. The trade market for a player of Holiday's caliber isn't as deep as it seems. Teams that can absorb his contract must also be able to offer assets attractive enough for Boston to part with a key piece of their rotation. The Mavericks, with their championship window still open, appear to be the frontrunners in this pursuit. They have the desire and the complementary pieces, but not the clear salary cap space to make a clean trade without involving additional teams or creative financial maneuvering. Boston's hopes rest on leverage in draft picks and young players in any potential deal. The Celtics have a wealth of future draft assets, some of which could be packaged with salary matching players to entice Dallas or a third team into facilitating a trade. The question is whether Boston values those picks enough to part with them. Draft capital is the lifeblood of building sustained success, and while the Celtics are winners now, they also want to preserve a pipeline of young talent to avoid rebuilding in the near future. At the same time, Boston is keenly aware of their roster construction. Their backcourt depth, while deep, lacks a true primary ball handler if Holiday departs without an immediate replacement. Pritchard is developing nicely, but is still unproven as a full-time starter in the playoffs. This puts pressure on the front office to either find a trade partner who can provide a quality ball handler or consider internal development and strategic signings during free agency. From Dallas's standpoint, acquiring Holiday could be a catalyst for their championship push, but it comes with risks. Holiday, while a consummate professional and defensive stalwart, is in the latter stages of his career. Managing his minutes and health will be essential to maximize his impact without jeopardizing his longevity. Furthermore, integrating him into a team with Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and other established stars requires chemistry and balance. Dallas would need to be confident that Holiday's style and veteran leadership can coexist with their existing core without disrupting team dynamics. Moreover, the Mavericks would have to part with valuable assets. The likes of Daniel Gafford, who has been a reliable presence in the front court, or players like PJ Washington or Caleb Martin, represent important building blocks or rotation pieces. Giving up such players would affect depth and could force Dallas to look to free agency or the draft to replenish their roster. The cost-benefit analysis is delicate. Acquiring Holiday could improve their immediate playoff chances, but at the expense of long-term flexibility. Looking beyond the Mavericks, the possibility of involving a third team in the trade is becoming more likely. Three-team trades have become common in the modern NBA due to the complexity of salary cap rules and luxury tax penalties. A third team could absorb some of Holiday's salary or provide additional assets to sweeten the deal for both Boston and Dallas. Identifying that third team is a puzzle in itself, as it would have to be a franchise with sufficient cap space or expiring contracts that fit the needs of both trading partners. Additionally, Boston's front office must consider the broader market for Holiday. Other teams in the West or East might express interest, but few can match Dallas's combination of cap flexibility, roster fit, and championship aspirations. Teams like the Miami Heat or the Los Angeles Clippers could theoretically explore options, but their cap situations and roster needs may not align well. This limits Boston's leverage somewhat, pushing them closer to Dallas as the most plausible destination. Ultimately, the trade scenario revolves around strategic priorities. Boston wants to maintain competitiveness, reduce tax burdens, and build for the future, while Dallas aims to add a proven veteran to support their stars and chase a championship. Holiday is the fulcrum of these competing interests, embodying both value and complexity. As discussions continue behind closed doors, fans can expect a protracted negotiation process. Trades of this magnitude rarely happen overnight. Boston's front office will weigh every offer carefully, balancing short-term impact against long-term viability. Dallas, meanwhile, will prepare to offer their best packages, knowing that securing Holiday could be the missing piece to elevate their team to the next level. This trade saga is emblematic of the intricate dance NBA teams perform in the salary cap era, where talent, finances, and timing intertwine. For Jrue Holiday, it means potentially relocating and embracing a new challenge. For the Celtics and Mavericks, it signifies a pivotal moment in shaping their championship trajectories. Whatever the outcome, this deal will be a defining chapter in both franchises' stories in the seasons to come. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a surprising twist that has sent ripples through the NBA rumor mill, the Boston Celtics are reportedly considering a trade involving Derrick White. While no official statements have been made, sources close to the team suggest that Boston's front office is exploring possibilities that could reshape their roster in the near future. This potential move has sparked intense speculation among fans and analysts alike, who are eager to see what direction the Celtics might take as they look to strengthen their squad. Derrick White, known for his versatility as a guard and his defensive prowess, has been a valuable asset for the Celtics. However, the buzz now points toward a possible trade that could bring in new talent or draft assets, giving Boston more flexibility in building a championship contending team. With the Celtics always on the lookout for ways to maximize their competitive edge, this rumored trade could be a strategic move designed to address specific roster needs or salary cap considerations. While it remains unclear which teams might be involved or what the Celtics hope to receive in return, the mere possibility of Derrick White being on the move has already stirred considerable debate. Some insiders speculate that Boston could be targeting a high-profile player to complement their core, while others suggest the move might be part of a longer-term rebuilding strategy. The Celtics front office is known for its calculated decisions, so any move involving White would likely be carefully measured to balance immediate impact with future potential. As trade talks often develop rapidly in the NBA, the coming days could bring more clarity or further confusion about this emerging story. Fans will be watching closely, hoping for updates that could signal a bold new chapter for the Celtics. Until then, Derrick White's name remains at the center of a buzzing rumor that could alter the landscape of the league. Whether this trade materializes or not, the Celtics' willingness to explore such options underscores their commitment to staying competitive and dynamic in a fiercely contested NBA season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.